Hey, welcome back. For the next 4 episodes, I'm going to be talking about what are called array methods. An array being one of these guys denoted by the hard brackets filled with data inside of it. And arrays are a special type of thing in JavaScript, so they have special things that can be called on them. So we're going to go over the dot map. We're also going to go over the dot filter. We're going to go over the dot reduce, and then finally, we'll talk about the .find methods. But for now, let's just only focus on .map for this video. And what does .map do? .map, when called on an array, and I'll show you the syntax for that, it will return a copy of the array, and it's going to be the return that dictates what gets replaced on each spot. Because we'll loop through and we'll say, okay, we're working with John. What do we want to do to John? And we're going to replace this spot with John, but it will be a copied version. So we won't mutate this at all. We'll just have another array right below it that it's like, okay, we've got John. Let's add something to the end of it and insert it into this new array. So that's how .map is going to work. But what does that look like? So let's first write something and call it copy people. Why are we writing copy people? Well, we know that when we call map on people, so it'll look like this, people.map call. This is how you say call, because this is actually what will execute this function. I know it's weird, and I know we haven't fully gone over how you're able to do this dot on that. Just assume that this is how an object works, and you can dot access some value. So we're going to have a copy people because we know when we run this, it's going to make a copy of people, and then we can insert it into copy people. So the first thing that map is going to take in is what's called a callback. A callback is really just a function that doesn't have a name. And what it's going to say is, okay, I will implicitly pass in an element into here. This element is just like our for loop. Remember how it was looping through each time and we were able to get each one? Well, we just don't have to write people at I and all of that. Element will be people at I. So first be John, then it will be Sue, then it will be Joe, then it will be Henry. And it's going to loop through it for as many things that are in there. So we don't have to keep track of the length or any of that stuff that we had to do with a for loop. So people.map. We're going to pass in an element. Now, the thing is that's really cool, but also might be overwhelming at first, is that it actually can take in 3 different things. So imagine this just being a big hole in the ground, and you drop it into this cave, and this cave is going to do something to all of that data. So you can drop up to 3 things in the cave, but they have to be dropped in a specific order. So first there will be the element, then the index, and then you can actually pass in the original array. So people can get passed in. But you have to drop them in this order. You can call them whatever you want, but and beard. But this will be the element. This will be the index of the element, so 0 in this case, or 1, 2, depending on which one we're at. And this one will still be the whole array. We can name them whatever we want. The thing is, we only need the first one. So what I'm going to call it, because I can name it whatever I want, I'm going to name it person. I only need that first thing. If I needed the index, I could leave it there, but I don't really need either of the other 2 items. I'm only dropping one in, but I can drop up to 3, but they have to be in a particular order. So now I have my copy people. So I know my copy will go over there. I've got my people.map set up and I've put my callback in there. Now I can do something to it. In this case, let's just add on to it is cool. So John is cool. Sue is cool. Joe is cool. Henry is cool. So all we're going to do is we're going to say return. Because remember, the return statement dictates what is replaced at every spot. So return person and is cool. So let's see what happens. Actually, let's console log our copy. Console.log copy people. So let's see what we got. Don is cool. Sue is cool. Joe is cool. Henry is cool. So this mapping ability is going to be used 24/7 if you're using React as your main framework. So it's definitely something that we need to make sure is covered and understood. So let's real quick just make sure we understand what I meant by index and what I meant by array. So let's just add, let's write instead of the actual variable, we're going to write person plus index. We're going to write person at index, and then that one is cool. So then we'll just add our plus sign and let's run it. Person at index 0 is cool. Person at index 1 is cool. At 2, so 0, 1, and 2. Because before, let's just put plus, and we're going to put it in parentheses. We're going to do a plus plus. Let's put all this up. We're going to put inside here person. Now it's going to be person at index, the index, and then parentheses, who it actually is, and then a space again. Let's put a space there. And we're going to see person at index 0, which is John, is cool. Person at index 1, who is Sue, is cool. Person at index 2, Joe, is cool. So that's how our map works. Now, let's do one more problem so we can see how this can work. And let's do it now with a little bit of math. So let's have let numbers, we're going to have that equal to, and then let's just put in some random numbers in there. So what we're going to do is let's make a function that takes in these numbers and gives me an exact array, but with everything multiplied by 2. So take a moment and see if you can do this on your own. If you can do it on your own, then we're all good to go ahead to the next thing. So take a second, pause me, see if you can take in that array and console log all of them multiplied by 2 using map. All right, let's get on to it. So numbers, and we're going to map it. So it's going to take in a callback. So that callback can take in up to 3 things, but I don't think I need the index. Doesn't sound like it. I don't need the arrays. I really only needed that first thing, the element. But I'm going to call it number because you can see here I called it person because people is the plural, person is the singular. For each person and people. So in this case, I had numbers. So for each number in numbers. So what I want to do is I want to return number times 2. Let's console log our actual result. So let's make a variable to store this in. Let copy numbers equal that guy. And then let's console log him. Console.log copy numbers. Let's run it. Well, it should be 6, 10, whatever that is, and -18. 6, 10, whatever that is, and 18. That's exactly what we wanted. So that's how map is going to work. In the next video, I'll talk to you about filter, and we can use that to eliminate things that we don't want. See you there. Bye.